And so, as we look at this, I want to really close by talking about one of the most misquoted verses in the Bible. And it's the last verse. It's Philippians 4:13. What does that verse say? I can do all things through him who, what? I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Many of us have that memorized. I have it memorized. And we misquote that a lot, okay? Because we use it for a lot of things. I mean, we quote it properly. I remember, man, since I was 7, you got to know where I come from. Since I was about 6 or 7, I've chewed tobacco and dipped snuff and a lot of other things, okay? But since I was about 7, man, I started dipping snuff and chewing tobacco early. And when you grow up a tobacco farmer, that's sort of what you do, I guess, right? And so I grew up, my granddaddy was a tobacco farmer. So you grow up chewing tobacco, and man, I was dipping snuff and skull, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit because, man, I just wanted to quit. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Amy and I were married, and Amy was like, I ain't kissing you if you don't quit dipping that skull. I'm like, oh, hey, you can't resist this. I quit dipping skull, though. But I dipped skull, and I could quit. And I remember this verse, man. I had headaches like you wouldn't believe, the withdrawals from the nicotine and all that kind of stuff. But I kept saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ. And you know what? I did it. I could have not done it in my own power. And that's a good quote of that verse, because it does mean I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, meaning I can break free of any bondage and I can live for him. But we misquote it because we can't do all things, okay? I want you to understand that. Let me give you an example. Man, I can line up beside Usain Bolt, and I can write those verses on the bottom of my shoes. I can look at him and say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, big boy. I ain't going to beat him, I'm not going to beat him 5 yards, 5 steps. I can never beat him, right? I wish I could do all things, but I can't. Your kids can't be anything they want to be, right? Man, if I could be, I'd be the greatest preacher in the world. I'd be the greatest dad, the greatest husband, the greatest friend, and the greatest college football coach. And the Lord knows we need a few of those. I can be all those things at once, never miss a beat. So we can't do all things, right? What he's talking about here is for the glory of God. I can do all things for the kingdom of God. I can do all God-centered missional things that God has ordained for me. I can do all those. And what I want you to notice is we quote that, but where is that verse? That verse is in the context of being content in life with what you have. That verse is in the context of contentment. It's not in the context of man, overcoming some major, it's in the context of you just being content, which is one of the most major obstacles you'll ever overcome. Man, you raise somebody from the dead quicker than you can overcome your, bent to the American dream for most of us, but we can do it. We can learn it. Why? Because Christ lives within us, and we can do all things that he commands through him who strengthens me. We can do it. We can learn it. We can learn to be content, and we can live the good life if we realize it's not about what we have. It's not about having health. It's not about having possession. It's not about having stuff. It's not about having position. It's not about having a spouse. It's not about what you have. It's about what you love. And if you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, all these things will be added. He's not talking about your greeds, but he's talking about your needs. It's not about what you have. It's about what you love. What do you love the most? Really? That's not just something for you to answer flippantly. That's a deep dive. You need to drill down in your soul this week and ask the Lord, what do I really love the most? Show it to me, because I want you to be the thing I love the most. Let me leave you with these very encouraging and challenging words that Paul wrote to a young pastor named Timothy. He wrote these to a young pastor named Timothy, and oh man, they're so good, they're so rich, they're so deep. Look at what he says, tells to Timothy, and this is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 through 12. He says, now there is great gain in godliness with contentment. There's great gain in godliness with contentment. Most of us want the contentment, but Paul says there's great gain with godliness with contentment. Godliness. Don't miss that word. Look at what he says. For we brought nothing into the world. You came into the world, you didn't have a wallet in your pocket, you didn't have a pocket, you were naked, right? Somebody smacked you when you came in to get you to breathe probably. Somebody said smacked most of you a lot more, but kidding. For we brought nothing into the world and we can take nothing out of the world. You can't take it with you. You've heard that. You've never seen a U-Haul, a purse pulling a U-Haul, all those things. You can't take anything with you. Well, so what does that mean? Well, what's your legacy? Leave the verse up there for a moment. What's your legacy? What is your legacy? You know, everybody's going to leave. Legacy is not just for presidents and world leaders and for military heroes. You're going to leave a U-shaped hole in this world when you leave. That makes up who you are, what you believe, the things the values that you pass on. What's your legacy going to be? Well, I mean, when people are at your funeral, if you think ahead, if people are at your funeral, what do you want your kids saying about you? What do you want your co-workers, your friends, what do you want them gathered around saying? Well, let me tell you what they're not going to say, no matter how much you have. Oh, man, that dude had some cash. That dude had some stuff. I want you to know his house, whoo. Nobody going to be saying that. Because that stuff dies with you. But let me tell you what doesn't die. What doesn't die is the things that you do that have eternal value. The rest is wood, hay, and stubble. What's your legacy? That's what he said. We've brought in nothing, we can take nothing out. Timothy, remember that. Remember that there's absolute, incredible benefit to godliness with contentment. You brought nothing into the world, you can take nothing out of the world. Don't let stuff be what you desire in the world. But if we have food and clothing with these, we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation. Those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Man, the road of life is littered with the people I just described, that Paul just described. You know some of them. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Let me make sure you understand what Paul just said. He did not say money was evil. He did not say having money is evil. He did not say being rich is evil. I hope God makes all of you rich. He didn't say that was evil at all. But if it gets in the way of your relationship with him, I hope he takes it away. He did not say money. He said the love of money. So understand that. If you can make a lot of money, go make it. As long as you love God first, you will do great eternal things with it. But if you don't love God first, it's going to ruin and shipwreck your life. If that's what you love the most. That's what he's saying. The love of money, not money. Those who desire to be rich. Oh, I got to be rich. That's my desire. Not being rich. So that's what you got to get. He says, it's though this is craving that some have it is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith. Wow. Paul says the desire to be rich and the love of money is going to drag many people who claim to be Christians out the door. It's going to shipwreck their faith and pierce them with many pangs. But as for you, O man of God, flee these things, pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, steadfastness, gentleness. Fight the good fight of faith. But as for you, O man of God, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. What do you love the most? It's not what you have, it's what you love. What do you love the most? You want to live the good life? Then make sure you love Jesus more than anything else. You want to have a good marriage? Make sure you love Jesus more than your spouse. You want to have a good job? Make sure you love Jesus more than you work. What do you love?